In the summer of 1988, a bank robbery in the small German town of Gladbeck spiraled into a 54-hour hostage crisis that played out like a twisted reality show on live television. This wasn't just a crime, it was a media spectacle that exposed the darkest side of journalism and the catastrophic failures of law enforcement. Today, we're diving deep into the Gladbeck Hostage Crisis. A story so bizarre and tragic, it feels more like a movie script than a historical event. But this was all too real, and its consequences forever changed the rules of crime reporting in Germany. It all began on the morning of August 16, 1988. Two armed men, Hans-Jürgen Rassner and Dieter Rogowski, stormed a branch of Deutsche Bank in Gladbeck. They were career criminals, fresh out of prison, and their plan was simple: get the money and get out. But things quickly went wrong. The police were alerted, and the bank was surrounded. Instead of surrendering, Rassner and Rogowski took the bank employees hostage and demanded a getaway car and a ransom of 300,000 Deutschmarks. This is where the situation took its first unprecedented turn. The police, hoping to avoid bloodshed, agreed to their demands. The criminals left the bank with their hostages and the money, embarking on a chaotic journey across West Germany and into the Netherlands. And trailing them every step of the way wasn't just the police, but a swarm of reporters. The media frenzy had begun. What happened next was simply unbelievable. The hostage takers, fueled by adrenaline and a desperate craving for the spotlight, began giving interviews from their getaway car. Reporters weren't just observing, they were interacting, almost collaborating. They offered directions, provided cigarettes, and broadcasted the criminals' every word, unedited, to a captivated nation. Rassner and Rogowski became media stars overnight, their faces plastered on every newspaper and television screen. Imagine this scene. The getaway car is parked in the middle of a pedestrian zone in Bremen. A crowd of journalists and onlookers surrounds the vehicle, cameras flashing, microphones pushed through the open windows. Inside, the terrified hostages are just inches away from the gunmen. One journalist, in a move that still sparks outrage today, even got into the car to guide the criminals out of the city, spending 40 minutes with them to secure an exclusive interview. The police were largely paralyzed, seemingly afraid to act while the whole country was watching. Their strategy was to wait, to wear the criminals down. But this passive approach allowed the crisis to escalate dramatically. While swapping cars, Rassner and Rogowski hijacked a public bus in Bremen, taking its 32 passengers hostage. The media followed, broadcasting the terrified faces of men, women, and children. The bus, now a mobile prison, headed towards the Netherlands. During a rest stop, most of the women and children were released. But the ordeal was far from over. Were forced to endure the ongoing nightmare. The criminals, growing more erratic and desperate, made a fateful stop. Rogowski shot and killed a 15-year-old Italian boy, Emanuele De Giorgi, who was trying to protect his younger sister. The horror was captured by the ever-present cameras. After this tragic turning point, the chase continued back into Germany. The media's involvement reached its most shocking peak in Cologne. The hostage-takers stopped their car in a busy city street, and once again, a media scrum formed. Reporters conducted a full-blown press conference with who held a gun to the head of 18-year-old hostage Silke Bischoff. They asked him about his motives, his plans, his feelings. He answered calmly, basking in the attention, while his captive sat in silent terror. This impromptu press conference gave the police a clear opportunity to intervene. The criminals were stationary, surrounded, and distracted. But still, the police did nothing. They allowed the car to drive away, heading for the A3 motorway. It was on this highway that the 54-hour ordeal would finally reach its violent conclusion. Just south of Bonn, a special police commando unit decided to act. They rammed the getaway car to bring it to a halt. A chaotic shootout erupted. When the gunfire stopped, Dieter Rogowski and Hans-Jürgen Rassner were arrested. But the tragedy was not over. Silke Bischoff, 18-year-old girl who had been the focus of the media's morbid curiosity just hours earlier, was dead. An autopsy later revealed she was killed by a bullet from Rassner's gun during the botched police assault. In total, 3 innocent people lost their lives. The aftermath of the Gladbeck Hostage Crisis was a storm of national soul-searching. How could this have happened? The police faced severe criticism for their indecisiveness, their lack of strategy, and their catastrophic failure to protect the hostage. Their actions, or lack thereof, were seen as a complete breakdown of command and control. But the harshest criticism was reserved for the media. Journalists had crossed a fundamental ethical line. They hadn't just reported the news, they had become part of it. They interfered with police operations, gave a platform to violent criminals, and exploited the suffering of hostages for ratings and headlines. The German Press Council later issued a scathing condemnation of the media's conduct, calling it one of the darkest chapters in German journalism. In response, new, stricter guidelines were established. Live interviews with hostage takers were banned, and rules were put in place to ensure journalists maintained a professional distance from police operations. The Gladbeck incident served as a brutal, unforgettable lesson in the responsibilities that come with freedom of the press. Rassenar and Degowski were sentenced to life in prison. Degowski was released on parole in 2018, while Rassenar remains incarcerated, but the scars of those 54 hours run deep. The families of the victims were left to grapple with their losses, made all the more painful by the public nature of the tragedy. For Germany, it was a moment of profound shock and shame, a crisis that revealed deep flaws in both its law enforcement and its media culture. The Gladbeck Hostage Crisis remains a powerful case study in what can happen when the lines between reporting and participating are blurred, when the thirst for a story outweighs human decency, and when authorities fail to take decisive action in the face of chaos. It's a chilling reminder that behind every sensational headline, there are real human lives at stake. What do you think? Did the media go too far? Or were they just doing their job? And could the police have done more to prevent the tragedy? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you found this story compelling, please like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into historical events that shaped our world. See you next time.